Thanks for jumping on. I'm here with Ashley Johnson tonight. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm excited to talk to you about this topic. So, just to give the people that are going to be watching this the background, we were sitting there eating dinner at kind of a special work meal that we were having together the other night, and we were kind of pouring through the menu looking for options as far as what we could eat low carb, and the conversation turned to diet at the table. And the gal next to us said that she's in some sort of like a Biggest Loser kind of group or something where there's $600 at stake. And she said that like everybody in the group was falling off the bandwagon by day 2. And that she was like, I'm going to win that sucker. I don't care how hard it is. And you piped up on the other side of me and said, oh, that usually happens to me too, but I just journaled through it this time. And I wanted to talk to you about that because I was like, hallelujah, that's what I tell people to do. I was like holding back tears because that is the crucial thing. That is what makes this program so different, is that it's not just a diet, plan that you follow, because we all know if that was all it took, we would all be a size 2, right?
Oh, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about maybe before you joined, what caused you to join the group, and then let's just talk about the process that you went through in journaling.
All right. So I've tried so many diets. I've tried working out. I've done personal training. I've done everything. And nothing has ever worked. I've always either given up or I guess just given up because nothing ever works.
Was it because they weren't working fast enough probably, or just it's too hard? Diet insanity that we're going to teach them about.
The diet in general, just having to give up everything, and like the extra things like the shakes. I did like the Atkins diet. I've done another diet, but I've never done the low carb.
Okay.
And everything was just not working. I guess also not fast enough. Maybe I just wasn't ready for it mentally. But
when you did the Atkins, you didn't do the low carb?
I don't believe so. I don't remember what I did. It was a long time
ago. Oh, okay. I was saying, because that is a low carb, but that's a different approach than what we use, because that's like super high fat.
Yeah. It was a long time ago. I've had self-esteem issues ever since I was in high school. And so I've tried everything since high school. So like the last 14 years.
Sure. I relate to that. And most people that are watching this video will too, for sure.
Yeah. And just, I guess maybe I wasn't even ready for it mentally, but this time I was like, I need to change. I was at the highest I'd ever been, even after having kids and like post-pregnancy weight. I was just the highest I've ever been, and I was starting to get unhappy. I started thinking like, marriage-wise, what's my husband thinking? Because I feel disgusting, so what's he thinking I look like?
Yep.
I wasn't able to have enough energy for my kids. I have a child on the spectrum, and that was taking all of my energy, and I was just drained. I found myself just laying on the couch all the time. And so I was like, I need a change, and I needed to get myself into it mentally this time, which is I've never journaled, and I started to journal right before and right at the beginning, and just how it changed has been amazing.
That's awesome. Okay, so did you join us in the January round?
Yes.
Was that your first time? So you had watched Haley and a bunch of other people like shrink in half, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm sure you had a conversation with Haley probably about mindset, because she always talks about how that was the key for her, was being ready. Did you guys talk about that, or? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I figured you probably did. So, so I gave some journaling topics. Did you just use those as kind of a springboard, or did you just write about everything? Did you catch yourself opening the fridge and grab the journal instead? How did you do it?
I wrote about everything. For me, it was kind of at first letting it all out. I let out how I was feeling. I let out just being really real, letting out like how I thought my husband was seeing me, even though he might not have been, but what my thoughts of it were, how I thought my kids were seeing me, and how I was better than that.
So you kind of talked yourself around in a circle too.
Yeah. Okay. I just put my goals on there. For my first one I sat there bawling because I was like, I need to get it all out so I can start and just fresh. And it's going to be a whole new me this year. So I journaled on why I needed to make the change, what my goals were, and were just really real with myself.
That's so important. And we're going to talk a lot about that in this group, but how sort of like when we're binging or when we're off the bandwagon, we have to like have this cognitive disconnect in our brain so that we don't consciously acknowledge what we're doing.
Yeah. And I think with journaling, especially that first, like right before we started, but we were already a part of the group, and we were like doing the prep work. Journaling right there was kind of just letting it all out to a fresh start. And then once we started, and I start to get like that sweet craving, because I'm a chocolate fanatic. I die for chocolate. And so once I started getting that sweet craving, journaling and putting why I thought I was getting the craving, as well as how eating those things made me feel, and then going back to the why I'm doing this, and just keep putting that in your head, and it made it easier mentally to get through that.
Well, and I didn't ask you before if I guess it would have been different if you said, yeah, I've journaled my whole life, but I'm glad that you said you didn't, because most people aren't journalers. So I had somebody say something like, I don't know what I'm going to write when I sit down. So can you talk to that a little bit? Because I know when I sit down to journal, I have no idea what's going to come out. Usually I'll just start with a sentence and then go from there.
Yeah, I use it as like a diary. I was like, okay, I need to be real. I said, I feel disgusting. I have no energy. My goal is to be this, like, get down to this size, and more importantly, be able to keep up with my kids. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old. I want to be there for them. I don't want to feel out of breath walking to the bus stop and back.
Yeah. How old are you, am I asking?
I will be 32 in July.
So you're young. Okay.
Yeah.
And how much weight have you lost since January, and how long did it take you?
As of today, so 4 months, 3.5 months.
Yeah.
I am down 44 pounds.
Wow! Oh my gosh, that is so amazing. I seriously have tears right now. Oh, I'm so proud of you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being super important, 1 being not, where would you put journaling and working through this?
I would say like a 9 to a 10. Mm-hmm. I've had people join me within my family on this process, and they haven't journaled and they've already fallen off. Mm-hmm. And I have one that has journaled, or who just started journaling, and he has said it's made it easier on him to keep track and keep going. So I definitely think you've got to let it out somehow, and instead of indulging in your cravings, write it out.
That's perfect.
But it's all mental. If you can get through the mental part, you can succeed at this.
Did you find that once you got into ketosis that your mind cleared and you were able to see things in a different way?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. I love that this approach is the mind just getting over the stuff, I've always said you don't have to therapize it, you don't have to inner child it, you have to acknowledge it. And just decide to either bring it on your journey with you or go around it or forget about it, or, how long are we going to let the same issues over and over hold us back? And they're always the same, and they span into all aspects of our life. It's not, it's not just weight. It's, you know, it spans into our relationships, and it's not the weight issue. It's the confidence that's behind that. And it's so multifaceted. So I'm excited, but so people are going to be watching this on day 2 because I wanted them to hear about the importance of journaling. They won't have that clarity of mind yet fully for another good solid week and a half. So we've got to get them to just jump in and dive in, and then they know that in 10 days they're going to have this just their mind is going to clear, and they're just going to be like smoking towards their goals.
And once your mind clears and you're able to start losing the weight faster, everything gets better, I want to say. Like, my relationships now with my kids and my husband are truly just amazing. So much better than what they were. Like, I can get down on the floor without having any pain and hang out with my kids. And the relationship with my husband, he's like, oh, you're a whole new woman.
I love it. I love it. So are you still journaling?
A little bit. Only I journal more now when I do get those cravings.
Good.
It's
awesome.
like,
so you're using it really as a tool.
Yeah, when I get the really strong cravings, I journal down and go, okay, well, what's been going on that is maybe making me want these cravings? And I stick to pretty much the same foods every day, but you can see, like, sometimes stress will give you that craving. Just random things. Like, my kids can eat whatever, and I can prepare them whatever, and I don't even go for it anymore, but I find it like late night snacking. I'm like, okay, so I grab my shake instead. Good. And I journal, okay, well, I'm going to do this instead. And this is, I think, why I was craving this.
Right. I love it. One of the things we're going to be talking about that I haven't really in the past is sleep. My Achilles heel. I don't do enough of it, and it derails our cortisol, which causes those cravings to kick in too. And, you know, those of us that are late night owls, I mean, it's like the amount of time passes that you would eat another meal. So we've got to get to bed before that happens, the fourth meal.
Yes. And that is another thing is my husband just started, and he hasn't journaled, but he's talked to me about his feelings. And then we have to get to bed at a decent time now, or else we find ourselves wanting to snack.
Good.
So that's been important too. We're making sure we get enough sleep.
I love it. Oh, I am so proud of you. Thanks for sharing tonight. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.